what all things are there in the space ecosystem, how an astronaut can live in space, is all the things that you are going to see today. This it is around 25 to 30 minutes, and after that you can ask questions. So till that time, if you have any questions, please note it down, or you can put it in the chat so that I can see your questions and I can answer it later. Okay. Now, so the first question that everybody asks is, who is an astronaut, or what is that meaning of the word astronaut? So the astronaut actually means he's a sailor amongst the stars. So whenever someone is going across the sky, and whenever he's going to travel deep into the space with all his space suit and the spacecraft, he becomes a sailor. So that person is actually called as an astronaut. So he has got a very cool job, that is to ride across the space and ride across the sky, and along with that he has to do a lot of other things also. So he has to do a lot of scientific experiments, he has to do some maintenance of the spacecraft, so many things he has to do. So what does actually an astronaut do is what we are going to see today. We'll also take the example of Sunita Williams. So Sunita Williams was spending close to around 280 days in space from last year June till March of this year. So all this time, what all things she was doing, what all things that she was going through every day. So for us, every day we get up, we brush our teeth, take bath, eat, go to school, come back, and then we play, we watch TV, we study if occasionally, and then we'll go to sleep. So something like this is not found in International Space Station where Sunita Williams was living. She was doing a lot of other things. So that's what we are going to do. So what they were usually wearing is something called as a space suit. So it has a lot of gadgets. So how we have a smartphone, how we have laptop, and how we have TVs in our home, there is a lot of things integrated into that space suit that can be used as a extension of your support. So you have helmet, which is containing all the protective gear to protect it from harmful radiation from the sun. So there is a lot of cosmic rays are there in the space. So you have ultraviolet, you have X-ray, you have gamma radiation, so many things are there. So in order to protect our skin and our surface of our skin from all these effects, you have to protect it with a visor or your helmet. And also you have a lot of temperature difference from Earth to space. So in space, if you stand very close to the sun side of the planet, you will feel very hot. But when you go to the dark side, when you say you are seeing the moon on the other side, it will be very cold. So both these things you have to be accommodating on the suit. So they also has a lot of camera to see what they are seeing from space. So gloves they wear to protect their arms. Their thick gloves is used to protect them from all the cosmic radiation. There is a very big bulky suit in the back, which is called as a life support system. So as I already told you, because of all the radiation on the space, there is no gas, permanent gas that is there in the space. So there is no oxygen, there is no carbon dioxide, there is no methane, nothing is there. So you have to breathe something. So for that they will carry some oxygen cylinders on the back of their space suit, which is called as a life support system. It is about slightly heavier. So a space suit is somewhere between 200 to 250 kilograms if you put it on the Earth's weight. But if you go to space, it becomes very light because there is very little microgravity involved. So to move from one place to another with only the spacesuit, you need to have something like a ladder or a harness which you can hold it onto. So it's around 200 to 300 kilograms in weight. So it's not very lightweight. So there is also a display control unit in their hand which they can use to control everything. So there is a radio communication system. There is a very small microphone, like how I am wiring a microphone right now. So you can use it to communicate with the ground systems and ground control. And apart from that, there is entire thing which is combinedly called as the space suit. Okay. So as everybody know the maximum time that you can spend in space is on the International Space Station. So there is no moon base or there is no Mars base yet. So what we can do is we can go to a height of around 480 to 550 kilometers, and that is where we can able to stay in the International Space Station. So International Space Station was constructed for a long duration from 1998 till 2011. So that is when they were doing all the experimentation and designing of this space station. So it is almost close to a size of 3 football field. So if you have one football field in the school, it is, imagine you have 3 football fields. So that is how big it is. Okay. So this is a typical International Space Station's look from the outside. What is the maximum days that a human can be in space? I'll tell you about it in the coming slides. How many hours can they survive with oxygen cylinder? I'll tell about that in the coming slides. Then if it is right, how they have been touching the surface of the moon without floating due to gravity? Okay, I'll answer all your questions little by little, because I will explain the whole, then you will know almost all the answers little by little. Okay, but good, you keep sending questions, so I'll read it by time to time and I'll answer it over the course of the presentation. So this is the typical crew module, which is having a lot of science experiments to do. So the science experiments from fluids, biological systems, psychological systems, all these things are integrated into this crew module, which they can able to check and verify whether all the things are performing correctly. So the first things that you have to do is you have to have some kind of nutrition when you are traveling in space. So almost every day the International Space Station goes around 16 times across the planet. So if you check every day, if you have a app which is called a Sky Scanner in your phone, you can see the International Space Station every 45 minutes once it is crossing our planet. So it will go very fast. So like that, if you want to see something very much going faster, you have to also have certain kind of nutrition that you can build up in your stomach, so that you can able to survive in that speed. So the food is very primary for all the astronauts who stay there, and they have to have a very packaged food. Everything is dried and everything is removed of water. So if they want to add water, they have to go to the crew systems and they have to add water later, because water can float around and it is very dangerous if the water flows around. So most of them are frozen or dried. So you have airtight packages, spring holders, velcro straps, so that nothing moves around and nothing floats away. So it is all tightly placed in one particular place. So this is typically how astronauts eat. So anything, imagine chapati, tortilla, chocolate, honey, anything that they want to have, they can have it on a dining table. So this is the dining table. So you can see on the right corner there is a large red color table which has got lot of velcro straps. So they put it on that, and that is how they can able to manage to hold the food items. So also, if you only keep on eating, you will have a very big tummy. So instead of that, they have to have a very fit body, and most of the times your body circulation of your blood is very restricted because of microgravity. So they have to strain their body to make it work out. So that is how they do. So this is a system which they use. So there is a restrained workout. So they have push-ups, pull-ups, jogging at the same place. So all these restraints that they have, it's kind of like a belt which they can wear in their hip, so that they can hold and run around. After doing all these things, they have to go for one bathroom and two bathrooms. For that essential things that they have to do, they use a toilet in space. So this toilet consists of two things. There is a suction tube that is there here, which is a yellow color tube. The other thing is for two bathroom, which there is also a suction system which can collect all the materials that you excrete out of your body. So in order to do all these experimentations, scientists are usually sent to International Space Station to discover new items. Say if they want to find the chemical reaction of how water reacts with ink, or if they want to know what kind of elements survive at a deep space network, or if they want to make diamonds which can able to be very much corrosive, all these experiments, even if water adding onto a plant, how much the plant can grow in microgravity, all these experiments are done there. To give you an example, scientists are usually in the discovery of anti-water embedded surfaces. So water should not stick onto it, so they make materials so that this can be tested to improve their efficiency, and this is one such of experiment. So why water doesn't stick? Because there is no wetness in space. So whatever you try to keep at a very particular space, it will float away. So if you twist a towel, it will make the water all come out and it will fly in each direction. So in order to stop that from happening, all the washing or all the kind of things that they want to do, they will use dry powder. So there is a dry toothpaste, dry shampoo, dry detergent, and everything is mostly a powder based thing that they use. So all doing this on the end of 16 cycles across the planet, they have to take rest. So what they do, they sleep in a sleeping bag. So they get around 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and in that sleep time, most of them have a sleeping bag with a velcro strap which they can harness on their hip. So that is how they travel. So if you keep staying at the space for a longer duration of time, your bodies will start to have a lot of negative effects. So the first main effect is you will have a lot of bone loss, because since you don't have gravity to stand and sit and do a lot of work with your muscles, your bones and your muscles will get very thinner and thinner. So if you stay longer, more than 12 months or 24 months, you will have so much loss in your bones. To give you a comparison, this is how big and thick your bone and muscles are when you are in earth, and you can see on the right side, with the microgravity, with a very less amount of gravity, your bones will become very thin and your walls and fluids will become very slim. So with that you can't able to move very faster, or you can't able to walk around. So once astronauts come back to earth, they can hardly stand up or they can hardly walk. So they will be put on a wheelchair and they will be moved for first 2-3 days in a wheelchair, and then only after getting accustomed to the earth's gravity, then they can stand up. So you remember Sunita Williams. So Sunita Williams went to space the third time on June 5th, 2024. Okay, that is on the left side. Once she entered, you can see how actively she is moving all her arms and legs and muscles and her neck. So that's a very active movement. But you see on the right side, on the bottom corner, you can see same Sunita Williams on March 17, 2025, when they came to rescue her. So almost 9 months later, when they went to see her, she was very, very thin. So all her muscles and bones must have already gotten thin because of the amount of stress on microgravity has happened. So if she stayed a little longer, maybe if she stayed for more than 3 years or 4 years, our entire body movement would have been very, very slow and very, very thin. So that's why you can't stay longer than 1 year, max to max. There has been few astronauts who have stayed for 18 months, which is 14 months, which is around 1 year and 2 months they have stayed, and still they were able to have a lot of problems with their body once they came back to earth. So muscle atrophy, lot of bone loss, everything can happen in space. So you have to build your muscle system and bone system to a large extent so that they can able to perform actions once they come back to earth. So apart from that, if you stay longer in space, the amount of cosmic radiation that you are exposed to, so when you travel from one place to another in an aircraft, you will be getting around 14 to 15% higher dosage of radiation that you normally get from going to space. But if you go to space directly and staying there for longer time, imagine I told you around 16 times they go around the planet every day in the International Space Station. So the amount of radiation will be very, very high, almost 100 times or 200 times higher if you stay that longer in one same place. So that's why astronauts are always asked to be very protective of their surfaces and their all this equipments that are there. So they will protect it with a special radiation coating on the International Space Station. So if you have so much of exposure, if you don't go without wearing any spacesuit, you will get skin cancer immediately on the surface of your body, and that skin damage will cause lot of carcinogenic problem. A lot of acute radiation exposure will have damage to all your nervous system. So as I already told you, spacesuit is more important for you to go out and do all the performance and all the extravehicular activity. So this is called EVA. So spacesuit is more needed. That is where we can able to do spacewalk. There is no walking, but just floating by having a small stool on the bottom of your foot. So that is how they started, and the max you can stay outside is around 2 to 3 hours. So 2 to 3 hours is the maximum you can stay outside in the earlier spacesuit design. Now they are trying to improve it, if they can stay it for a little longer, like 3.5 hours to 4 hours. So they are slowly improving it little by little. So this is how an astronaut gets tethered to the International Space Station, and this is how they can literally go outside and do the work on the ISS. And see, this is something called as a Canadarm. This big metallic thing which is below the astronaut's leg, that is for holding him in that same place, that is called as the Canadarm. It's a separate module which is there in the International Space Station to hold on to them, so that they don't float away and they don't fly away from the International Space Station. So this is the last part where Sunita Williams came back from the International Space Station. So she went with a Boeing Starliner. It's a different spaceship, and after spending about 8.5 to 9 months there, they used a SpaceX Dragon capsule, which is another vehicle, and they came back in that vehicle. So that is how you can see two different missions there. So to training all these things in space, you have to have so much of neutral buoyancy lab, which is a very big swimming pool that is there in Texas, Houston, Texas, and where they will dunk the astronauts to see how much they can perform in zero gravity conditions, like microgravity conditions. So it's basically a swimming pool. It is about one football field size, so it is almost 1/3 the size of the entire International Space Station. So where they can float around freely, and this almost 200 kilogram spacesuit will be very weightless, so there will be no weight at all. So they can literally float around, and they can see how much they can move in this space environment using this simulated swimming pool. So I am going to play a video which is how our Indian astronauts or Gaganyatris, the Gaganyaan program mission, is going to be driving. So this is a very short video.
The wonders of space have always captivated humanity. For the maiden Indian human spaceflight mission Gaganyaan, ISRO, in collaboration with the Indian Air Force, selected the crew from a pool of talented test pilots. These pilots underwent a battery of clinical, aeromedical and psychological tests. Finally, the National Crew Selection Board recommended 4 test pilots from the Indian Air Force for the Gaganyaan crew training program. The selected crew members were trained at the Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center, Russia, for a period of about 13 months. This training covered various aspects of a space mission, such as parabolic flights, survival training in off-nominal snow, desert and water landing, as well as extreme environment stressors. After returning, the astronauts are being trained in the newly established training facility. Through the Gaganyaan crew training simulators, mock-ups and state-of-the-art virtual reality tools, the space crew is also getting trained in various human-centric products and survival scenarios. Physical fitness of the crew is maintained through a rigorous physical training regime. A specialized yoga module is also incorporated in the physical training curriculum for holistic health management of the astronauts. They will also be assigned for ISRO NASA mission to the International Space Station, announced by the Honorable Prime Minister. This incredible feat will take Bharat to greater heights. Akasha Bhavantam Pratikshate.
So this is something like an astronauts training program, which almost 4 of our astronauts are using, getting trained in Gagarin Space Mission Center in Russia, which is a very famous Russian training center. Even Sunita Williams went there to get herself trained. So this was in early 1997-98 where she went for the first training. So our Indian astronauts are going to get trained there, and they have almost completed their training. So they are going to go for the first mission in 2026 and 2027. So that is where they planned the missions for International Space Station with our Gaganyaan 3s are going to be. So in order to do this in a very simulated way, in a ground based system, myself and a few of my classmates from Indian Institute of Space Science in Bangalore, we used the help of Dr. Alok Kumar, and we were able to find a very good analog site in Leh Ladakh. So there is a potential habitable space which they are building right now, and with this we will be able to go and see how future astronauts can live in Mars or Moon or wherever it is. So this is the site that they are building right now. So this is very similar to how Mars Desert Research Station, MDRS station, is there in Utah, USA. So all these things are culmination of how a space explorer goes from Earth and stays in a different space. So if you consider the future of our humanity, we are going to be an interplanetary species. Someday we will evolve ourselves to go from one place to another. So we have conquered all the 7 continents in the world, including Antarctica. We have gone and lived there. So in the future we may be needing to expand our life to go and stay in the different planet without having to worry about weight loss problems or any kind of physical limitations that we have. So what is that we are going to do? We are going to go and live in space, and this space is going to be something which is very unique for us. Okay, this is something which I want to share. Okay, before that I will answer your questions and then I will come back to this.
Good evening, children. You can turn on your cameras and turn on your audios and ask questions rather than typing it down in the chat.
Okay, there are a lot of questions. Okay, I'll go one by one. If I can able to
Yeah.
answer all of them, then it is good. So that most of them are asked the questions on the chat itself. I think I've answered
Uh,
the spacesuit question, whether it is light or heavy. So it is heavy. It is around 200 kilograms. Maximum days that a human can be in space around 14 months they have been in space. So that's around 1 year and 2 months. How many hours can they survive with that oxygen cylinder? Typically they can survive up to around 4 to 6 hours with the oxygen cylinder. If they want to go beyond that, they will have a half time. So after 3 hours they will come back inside the International Space Station. They will change the cylinder and then they will go back again. So that is how they survive. If it is then if it is weight, how they are touching the surface of the moon without floating due to gravity. Okay, they have a counter ballast weight. Okay, even if you have a mouse, so this is a normal mouse inside which there are dummy weights. So this dummy weights are used for holding the mouse on the surface of your system. So that is how most of the time astronauts, when they go for the surface of the moon, they will be wearing counterweight on the lower side of their body. So when they stand up, they can literally stand up. So when they fall, they have to come back using the force of their foot. So it is like a dummy weight, they have it on their suit. What if the food is over? Okay, good question. Food is usually resupplied every 6 to 8 months time. So that is a resupply mission which International Space Station is now serviced by the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. So there is a service mission that is happening every 6 to 8 months. So they will send the food there, and after 6 to 8 months they will bring all the garbage back to the planet and they will throw it into the dustbin here.
Sir, what is over?
So inside there is a special water service mechanism. So as I told you, Earth spinning at around 24 hours per day. Okay, so we are spinning at 24 hours per day. So for us, we can only see sun and the moon once a day. Okay, that is 12 hours of sun, 12 hours of night. Okay. For them,
Sir, how do they sleep?
I'm telling. So for them, there is around 16 times per day. So there are 16 sunrise and 16 moonrise. So whenever they go from the sun side to the moon side, they will see the temperature difference. So sun side it will be around 150 to 200 degrees, and on the moon side it will be around minus 100 to 200 degrees minus temperature. So when they go there, there is a thermal expansion of air or water molecules. That is how they can.
Sir,
I'm answering. So that is how they can able to preserve the water and they can drink the water. Yes. Next question.
Sir, can we run in the space?
What do you mean by run in the space?
Usually astronauts cannot walk, right, sir?
Okay. Where are you trying to run? You want to run inside the International Space Station, or you want to run in the surface of a moon or Mars? Where do you want to run?
International Space Station.
So there is no possibility for you to run inside International Space Station. So there is no bottom up or top down inside. Everything is floating around. Okay. I will show you a video at the end of this presentation where they have actually shot astronauts inside the International Space Station where they can only float around. Okay. I will show you that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. I will go back.
Sir, how will they,
Yes, sir.
sir, how will they sleep and know if it's the morning or the night time?
How will they sleep and what was the next question?
And how will they know if it's morning or night?
Okay. So for them there is no fixed time of morning or night. Okay. For them it is every 45 minutes they will see a sunrise and every 45 minutes they will see a moonrise. So every 1.5 hours they will be seeing sun and the moon again and again and again. Okay. That is how fast it is. So for them there is no daytime and night time. There is no sleeping time, fixed time. So whenever they are going to sleep, they will set an alarm clock, and after 7 hours or 8 hours they will get up again. So each one of them will go to a different sleep time. So not everyone will go to sleep at the same time. It is not like your home where you, Amma, Appa, everybody goes to same time at sleep at around 10 o'clock and get up at 6 o'clock. It is not like that. So each one of them will take turns. So one of them will sleep for 7 hours, next other person will get up, next other person will go to sleep. Something like that will be happening. I'll show you why it is 16 times per day. I'll give you some.
have an emergency exist in the space station?
Can you repeat again?
Sir, do they have an emergency exist in the space station?
There is no emergency exit, but if there is anything which is very urgent, they have two escape modules. It's an escape module which is made of a service bay. They have to go inside and they have to ask Houston control, that is the ground station control. They will give them the perfect slot to come back to the planet Earth. So there is.
Sir, inside the space station there is any air?
There is air. There is pumped air. So there is a small amount of positive pressure air. So they will mix oxygen. They will mix a little bit of nitrogen, and they will pump it inside the International Space Station so that they can breathe normally.
Sir, will they have medicines if they get problems like food poison, fever, and all?
Yes, everything is there. So for everybody who is going to space, they will get trained from the International Astronomical Society. So there is a special training center in Moscow, and there is one training center in Houston, America, Florida, near Florida. So both these places they train to get themselves acclimated to the space environment. So there is also lot of medicines in standby. If they get headache, they'll take medicine. If they have stomach pain, they'll take medicine. Yes, everything is there.
Sir, what type of food they will eat, sir?
Mostly dry food. So every food is very, very dry. So whatever you want, you can have chapati, you can have parota, you can have sabji, whatever you want you can have. But it will be very dry. So it will not be very hot. So you have to go up. You have to put it inside an steamer. Steamer is something like a idli making machine. So you know how Amma Appa makes idli using a idli tabba, right? So similar to that, there is something called a steamer. That you have to put everything in the steamer, make it warm, and then only you have to eat it. It will be very dry and very cold.
Sir, they're preparing food there, sir. There itself.
They will get the food delivered. So it's like Swiggy and Zomato, but once in 6 months. So they will ask food every 6 months. So they will deliver that food, dry food from Earth to space using a SpaceX Falcon rocket. So it will go there and give it to them. So for the next 6 months, they will eat only the dry food. There is no fresh food.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, when was the Space International System made?
So between 1998 to 2011. So it was made part by part. It was like how you made Lego. You know Lego? You can play Lego.
Yes, sir.
So like Lego, they joined piece by piece and they made the entire International Space Station. So
Sir,
almost 12 years it took.
what is
Yes, sir.
Sir, how do they communicate with their family?
So there is a special band of telecommunication systems. So you have today 4G, 5G phones, right? More wireless telecom phones, right? Similar to that, they have a separate channel called S band and X band. It's a telecommunication system which they use. It's like a normal phone only. They can use this phone. Similar to that, they have to have a separate SIM card for space.
Sir,
Sir,
Sir, can they do video calls?
Yes, they can do video calls. There has been lot of times where they have spoken to students and children in from space, International Space Station. So every week there is a separate program in NASA TV where they telecast interactions with school children. So you can also tune in using NASA TV, and I think it is broadcasted also in YouTube. So you can watch. They can have video calls with everybody in Earth and everything.
Sir, when they get stuck, they can come back with the aircraft to send food, no, sir.
Kanama, there is no stuck and all. For them to get stuck means they have to be very prepared or not prepared. So for them, it is only based on the mission control. So from the Earth, they have to tell you can come down now or you can stay there for a little longer. So there is no such thing as getting stuck.
sir,
Yes, sir.
sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, in the outer space, no oxygen will be there. How can be the international space station have oxygen, sir?
So they have a separate oxygen cylinders. So they have oxygen making cylinders inside. So every 1 second, 1 second. I'm getting feedback. I have to mute someone. So every 6 months, they'll have a resupply mission where they will also send, if needed, oxygen cylinders also. So that will be pumped inside. So imagine it is like your cycle tire, okay? So International Space Station is like a very big cycle tire, and you have to pump little bit of air inside it so that it stays that way. So your astronauts will constantly breathe and they will exhale carbon dioxide and will be recycled every time. Yes, sir.
sir,
Sir,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ask question, sir. Sir.
sir, what if they are going to space?
What if we are?
Why they are going to space?
That's what I'm going to tell. And that is the bonus session I wanted to cover. Okay, just give me 2 minutes. I will cover the questions, all the questions in the chat, and then I will answer that question. Okay, give me 2 minutes.
Okay.
How does
Sir, what they will,
Yes, Mahi, tell me.
sir, what they will explore in space?
So they are looking for new places to go and live. Okay, so there are a lot of curiosity amongst all humans that someday we have to go out from this planet and live in a new place. Okay, your parents, parents, and your grandparents, some 100 generations ago, were traveling from a small river to all the way to a new city for a job, right? Similar to that, we humans want to travel from this very small planet called Earth to someday to go and live in a different planet. So that is what we are going to constantly exploring. That is how humans are. Humans are nature is only to exploration. How do they eat medicine with water in the station? So they only swallow directly solid tablets. So they will swallow, and it is mostly dry powder. So it will easily be swallowed. It's not like very hard, not like very this big and all tablet. It's a very small tablet only. They can easily swallow.
Sir?
What happens when they get injured? They usually don't get injured. If they get injured, they'll have some very small band-aids or things to protect them from any bleeding, blood bleeding. They will protect.
Sir? Sir?
Yes, sir.
What if the missile was inside the rocket? If it burst, what will happen to the rocket?
So there are two things you are asking. Okay, one is called as a rocket, one is called as a launch vehicle. So rocket only carries destructive payload, which is you put a bomb in front of it, it becomes kaboom. Okay, you usually use it for your Diwali crackers. So Diwali crackers, you put a light on the bottom, zzz, it goes and damal, it breaks. Nah? That is called rocket. The other thing is called as a launch vehicle, where in the front there is no kaboom, there is no bomb in the back front. There is actually a human person who is sitting there and going to space. So it does not burst. If it bursts, it means a very big problem for all the people in the mission control. Okay, they don't usually.
And sir?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
if we can, instead of human, we can send robots to the space.
Yes, sir. We can also send robots to space. Yes, I will tell you about robots. Okay.
How does the food get restocked in the space station?
There is a separate service module which it looks like a white color baggage. Every 6 months they will carry it in that. It's protected with aluminum foil. So aluminum foil is covered inside it, and that is used for protecting the dry food which is sent from Earth to space.
Sir, what is the maximum speed of rocket?
It is supposed to go out in 9.8 kilometers per second, or almost close to 9.8 to 11.2 kilometers per second. That is the escape velocity of the Earth.
Sir, did they take bath in that place?
There is no need for a water bath, so they don't take water bath. They usually use towel, a dry towel, to wipe all their skin surface. Okay, I'll ask you a very fundamental question. When do you sweat? When do you sweat?
In the humid places?
Okay, so
When we do workout.
Okay, when you do workout. Okay, if you do workout in an air conditioned room, will you sweat?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Similar to that, in International Space Station, it is always air conditioned. So there is a lot of air conditioning inside, and there is no sweat at all. Okay, and most
Sir,
of the time,
won't they remove the spacesuit at night also?
they don't wear spacesuit in the night and all. They don't. They see, you can see these two astronauts who are playing with a small miniature spacecraft, right? So they are pushing each other, and both of them are going in different directions. So they are not wearing spacesuit there. So they are just wearing normal cloths. So they wear a cotton shirt or a woolen shirt. There is something called merino wool which they use for wearing it inside this International Space Station. So there they can wear and they can live
How
comfortably.
only they need the spacesuit, sir?
Only when they go out to do some extra vehicular activity, they will wear a spacesuit. Inside and all, they will not wear a spacesuit.
Sir, how much heat will produce while going to launch?
Okay, that is a very tough question. Heat is generally very high. So there it is around 800 to 1200 degrees. So it's almost around 100 to 200 times higher than the normal temperature that you have in the Earth's surface. So 800 to 1200 degrees. So it's a very big metal composite. So metal composite is used for funneling the rocket engine. So
Sir, while
this rocket,
it is launching, we'll put water, sir.
what is the use for water?
How bone will become?
While it is launching, they will put more water, sir.
Correct. They use water for purging the hot flame. So there is underneath an rocket launch system or a launch vehicle system, there is a huge nozzle with a lot of water getting pumped. So there will be a huge cloud formation that is called sparging, cloud sparging.
Sir,
Yes.
what happens when they get injured, sir?
that is what I want to answer. So if they get injured, they usually get very quick band-aid or very quick servicing of things. So most of the time, nothing is very sharp. So all the surfaces are devoid of sharpness. So there is always foam everywhere. So there is no
Sir?
sharp objects there. So
Sir?
you don't get injured very easily in
Sir?
International Space Station. Yes, sir. I'm answering, sir.
Sir,
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir, are robots that are sent into space called robonauts?
Yeah, robos are getting sent to space. Yes, they are sending. I'll show
Sir,
you.
what?
Are they
Sir,
called
what?
robonauts?
One second, I will finish reading all these things. All your questions I will answer after
Sir,
another 5 minutes.
what
5
is
minutes, 5
the
minutes.
max height of
Sorry, kiddos. Can one of you ask question?
5
It's
minutes.
like
5 minutes.
creating background noise. So if one of you can ask question while other can wait, so we can answer all the questions. All of your questions will be answered. Just that you had to wait and get your questions answered, please.
Okay, I will finish reading
Yeah.
all these questions and then I will show you a bonus session which is about how we can go and live in space. Okay.
Abhi sir, what we could probably do is we could ask them to raise their hands in case they have questions. So one by one, we'll call out their names and they could ask their questions once you finish up with the chat questions.
Okay, fine.
Yeah?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sir. That would make it more organized.
Okay, thank you. Is there any radioactive effect? How do they keep track of time in space since the time zone is different in space? Yes, they usually have 16 different time cycles. So each one of them have to record each of the time cycle. I'm getting a background noise. I'm muting someone.
Sir?
Sir, wait, sir. I'll answer your question, sir. Wait, sir. Waste after excretion. What happens when they get insured? Where does the waste after excretion go? They will keep it inside the vehicle, and after 6 months, every 6 months once, they will send it back to Earth. Nothing gets thrown into the space. There is no eject button in space, so it's not allowed to dump anything on the space. How do they breathe in there? They have an air conditioning system which they will pump oxygen and nitrogen so that they can have a normal breathing space. How do they keep track of time? Yes, they have 16 different time zones to match, and each one of them has to track their time zone. Why they are going to space? They are for living in a different planet. Is there a radioactive effect when we are in the space for a long time? Yes, for a more prolonged time, if you stay beyond 7 to 8 hours in open space without any spacesuit, you will have frostbite and you will have radiation poisoning on your skin. What will they find? That I have to answer a little later. How did they survive? How will they sleep? I have answered most of them. What is the name of the arm? Could you please repeat it? It's called Canadarm. So the arm that is used for connecting the astronaut to the International Space Station is called Canada. The country Canada made it, so they named the object as Canadarm. Are there germs in space? Yes, there has been few instances where they have found germs in space. They have even found a super bug in space which nobody knows how it had survived. There is also instances of fungal growth on the International Space Station's solar panels. So the solar panels that are outside the International Space Station, there has been reports of fungal growth. They don't know how it survived in that space and all. So now they are still investigating on it. What happens if the arm breaks? If that arm breaks, it becomes a very big problem. Everybody will have a problem on the next orbital pass. It will go and hit something else and it will become a lot of debris, or in Tamil it becomes Koputoti, space Koputoti. I can't hear, audio not clear. Why do we have to wear a very special suit in space? Because if you go without space suit, you will have a lot of radiation and you will have problem with your radiation poisoning. Voice is not clear. So what if something happens to the rocket? I told you nothing can happen. If it happens, it becomes a big problem for everybody else. What does the SpaceX Dragon works? I can explain it to you later, not now, because it's a very different topics. Propulsion and cycle and all, it's a very big topic. It will take you at least 2 days to 3 days to understand rocket propulsion. Why they are going to space, I am already going to answer. If there is an international space station, is not there, what will happen? Without international space station, it will be very hard for us to go directly to a different orbit. So since we have international space station, it is easy for us to move from one orbit to another. So someday we will be going to Moon or Mars using international space station. Can you please share the transcript of your talk or screenshots of some of the important points? I will try to upload the video in the next coming hour, so that you can able to see it directly in the YouTube also. How do the food resupply of astronauts work? I told you, every 6 months SpaceX transporter mission will send the food items from ground to space in space station. When was the International Space Station system made? Between 1998 to 2011. Is there any window? Yes, there is something called cupola. It's a very large window. I'll show a video of it in the later, so that you can see. With that window, you can take photographs of the planet Earth from the International Space Station. Rocket is not working. I don't know the answer to that. How do they drink water in space? Through straw. They have a straw kind of thing they can drink, or they have to float the water and they have to drink it by going very close to that water. How will they come back to world? Using a different lander. So they use SpaceX Dragon capsule, which is the lander that is used for coming back to Earth. What is the name of the air present in space? There is no air in space, so there is no pressurized air. Everything is sent away by the sun's radiation. So only on the surfaces of the planet there is a little bit of air there. So that is the only thing that you can find. How their bones go thick? So their bones don't grow thick, so their bones become very thin. So when they are in the space, they become very thin. Once they come back to Earth, they will have some medical treatment so that they can increase their bone density. So it's a very tough process once they come back. So if they float away from rocket, will they be able to retreat? No. If sometimes it is very hard for them. If they go very far away from the International Space Station, it is not easy for them to come back. So there has not been any kind of instances till date. Most of the time they are very connected to the International Space Station. Nobody has done that experiment of flying away from the International Space Station yet. What if an atom was in space? I don't understand the question. What if an atom was in space? Everything is atom only. I don't understand the question. How do they land in Earth? They'll find a landing site usually on the launch station or somewhere in a deserted area. If they want to make an emergency landing, they will choose a water landing space which is very far away from the habitation space. So in Earth we have a lot of aeroplanes going here and there, right? So when they are going here and there, you cannot ask them to stop and you cannot ask them to not come very close to an aircraft, so spacecraft. So what they will do is they will choose a place which doesn't have any aircraft movement or any aeroplane movement. So that is where they have to land the spacecraft. How much fuel is used and needing during launch? Almost 90% of the fuel. So if you consider SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, it is around 1.8 tons of fuel is being used on the second stage rocket. When they land, will heat be produced, and if heat is produced, how they survive the heat? And can you please answer the chat question? Yes, I am answering the chat question. There is a lot of heat being produced on the underside of the lander, and during that time they have a heat sink tile. So they have a lot of carbonaceous tile that is on the underside of the spacecraft, which is protecting them from getting hot. What is the maximum weight of a rocket? Somewhere between 8 to 20 tons, almost around 3 to 4 elephant sizes. So that is how big a rocket without the fuel. With the fuel, it will be around 25 to 30 tons. That is how big the SpaceX rocket is. 25 to 30 tons. I can't understand how they walk in space. So there is no walking in space. They can only do a space walk, which is floating around by connecting to the International Space Station. What will happen when oxygen levels go to zero? Will they die? Yes, definitely. After some zero level oxygen, they'll have carbon poisoning, carbon dioxide poisoning, and all your muscles in your body will become very stiff, and you will die after maybe like 20 minutes. You will die after breathing so much of carbon dioxide. You will die after 20 minutes. There is a group 2 success in the mission. How does SpaceX Dragon return to Earth? What is the mechanism behind it? Okay, I will explain it later, not now. It is a very long process to say. It could be reused. Is it made of strong material? Yes, most of them are made of metal matrix composite, which is a very strong material, which is very tough material. It's a very hard material to break, and there is a lot of carbon composites also on the underside to protect it from heat. What is the materials the spacesuit is made of? Okay, so spacesuit is made up of Kevlar and Kaplan. Kevlar and Kaplan are two materials which are very tough and very thick. It can even stop a bullet from entering the spacesuit. It's a very tough material. It's a bulletproof material actually. That is how thick it is. Will we go back and forth if we dug a hole right through the Earth's core? It's a hypothetical question. Nobody has tried digging a hole straight into the Earth's core. It will take you many millions of years to go. So the deepest hole that we have dug is around 8 kilometers or 10 kilometers, almost to the height of Mount Everest only they have dug deeper. So beyond which they couldn't go because it was very hot. So drilling there and no drill bit can go that deeper, so they stopped it halfway. Where they will start their mission? I don't understand the question. Does time seem more or less long in space? Relative time, it's a very advanced concept. It will take me another 3-4 days to explain relative time. Okay, someday if you are free, I will come to your school and I will explain it to you. Why they are going to space? To live in another planet. How long does the rocket take to reach the space station? It will take somewhere between 6 hours to 8 hours. So based on the transient time to approach International Space Station from the launch site, somewhere between 6 hours to 8 hours it will take, and it will take 3 days to go from Earth to Moon. So 3 days you have to travel, and that is when you can go to Moon if you have the most powerful rocket pointing at the Moon. Space has no gravity, right? Then the space station is fully closed, but why are they floating in the space station? Space station is not stationary, it is also moving very fast. So there is also velocity of how much it can travel. So there is a little bit of microgravity prepared by the movement of the spacecraft. That is how it is. So it's not like floating away. It is floating on a fixed orbit. Do they know day and night? Yes, every 45 minutes once they will know. 45 minutes once they will know day and night. Do they have an emergency exit? There is no emergency exit for them unless someone from the ground station tells them to come down. What is the temperature of space? On the sun side it is around 250 to 300 degrees. On the moon side it will be around minus 150 to 200 degrees Celsius. Do they have water and food? Yes, they have water and food. We can light up fire in inside. No, you cannot light up fire there. But inside International Space Station, they have lighted a small matchstick to see how it performs, how the matchstick burns there in space. It's a very curious thing. I will show it to you someday. Due to levitation, if they accidentally press the button, what will happen? I don't understand what is meaning of levitation happening there. What if the rocket gets hit by an asteroid? Most of the time, the rocket is not planned to go into a trajectory with an asteroid. So asteroids move in a different latitude and rockets go in a different latitude. So there is no point for them, both of them, to meet until you want to directly aim at an asteroid to go there. Okay. Where will the waste go? They will bring it back to the Earth and they will dispose it. They will not throw it into space. Can they see Earth and the Moon? Yes, every day they can see both Earth and the Moon very comfortably. What all activities astronauts do? They do a lot of activities. They do physical activities, they do experimentational work, they do space walk, a lot of things they do. What will happen if the rocket crosses the ozone layer of the Earth? So it's a very thin layer. Ozone layer is not like a very thick cloud and all. It's a very thin layer which is about almost 20 to 30 meters in height, almost close to a building height, that's all. So it's not like it's going to tear through an ozone layer. It's not like very thick fabric and all. It's a very small thing. They can easily pass through an ozone layer. Why water does not turn into ice cube due to chillness? Actually, water doesn't turn immediately into ice cube because there is no assimilation of a shape. So it changes into a mist, cloudy mist of ice, that's all. So that ice mist can be condensed by suction and that makes into ice cube and an ice water, that's all. What are the robots to travel to space called? They are not named yet, but most of them are called quadcopters and helicopters. So someday we'll have a name for them. There is a little more space in the PlayStation. Okay, what do you mean by floating equals levitation? What are you talking about? My UAE abaya. Can you unmute yourself and ask?
Sir, I asked one question. No, sir, due to levitation, if accidentally press the button, what will happen? The levitation, like floating, if they accidentally press the button, like due to floating, what will happen, sir?
What button are you pressing? What is that button you are pressing? Tell me what button. What is the function of that button?
Any button, sir. For example, it sends it shut down the rocket or
I don't understand. This button is being pressed inside the rocket. There is a button that you press that you will turn off the levitation.
No, sir. While they are levitating, if they accidentally press a button which shut down the rocket will shut down. Sir.
So, this is only happens in movies and all. When you watch movies, they will show you some scenario. Or if you watch some Titan cartoon or Chutti TV and all, they only show such kind of things. Astronauts are not allowed to touch any button and all. So only thing you are allowed to do is the experiment that you are supposed to be doing. Accidentally pressing button and all, it's not happening. It's not Looney Tunes cartoon and all. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Why will time stop when we enter a black hole? Black hole and all, it's very advanced concept. Maybe I will answer it to you in a different time, not in this session. There is something called spaghettification, which can even stretch you for a longer time, but it's a very advanced concept. Sometime later, Chris Trifani. Okay, Trifani.
Hello, sir. Hi, Abhi, sir.
Yes.
Just a quick thing. So these concepts, which are very difficult for you to talk about right now, is it possible for us to just touch base, sir? Because I think someone had spoken about space. Some questions were related to Dragon X and gravity. So if we could just like SpaceX Dragon return to Earth, Sajini had asked.
I'll answer that, but for that I need to spend a lot of time to tell them.
I understand,
how
sir.
much,
Definitely.
rocket propulsion has to be. So it will take
Definitely.
a long time. It
So-
will not be very simple to just touch and then leave it. So
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
everybody to
But
understand.
I think
if
the
I
idea
have
is
another session, then I can able to give in detail.
definitely, sir. We will see to that. But the idea is for the children to just understand briefly. Maybe
So I'll
we
show
could.
them some fundamental concepts on
Yeah,
how a
sir.
rocket
Sure.
will be.
That
After
would be.
this,
That would be.
we have another 1 hour
Yeah, sure.
session. So during that time.
Sure. Thank you.
Will time stop when we enter black hole? I'll explain it later. They can orbit. I don't understand. How does the Earth look from space? It looks very beautiful from space. It looks like a blue ocean filled with a lot of, here and there will be a lot of clouds there. Okay. What does NASA mean? National Aeronautics and Space Administration. That is what NASA stands for. ISRO stands for Indian Space Research Organization. Why can't we go higher in rocket? There is something called orbital mechanics, where you can only go in a round spherical space. I will show it to you later. I will show something. What if the rocket crash in the rocket? Why two rockets go in the same direction? It's not happening at all. These aliens are there in space. I haven't not met them. If I meet them, I will introduce it to you. Okay. So now I want to come back to the session which I wanted to show again. So once we go to space, we are going to go and live in a very different planetary area. So someday we want to change that into how we see Earth. This is called evolution, and someday this evolution is going to take us from one place to another. So we can even go on to become an interplanetary species, and we can even drive across the entire planet in a new different system. So the most probable candidate which we can see is after Moon. We are going to Moon in 2026 and 2027. That is the planned time for the Artemis mission. And beyond that, probably in the 2030 or 2032, we will be going to the Martian surface. So Mars is the next big candidate. So if we start from Earth on Jan 2030, we will reach after 7 months, 6.5 to 7 months later, we will reach Mars. And if we stay there for about 2 years, if we start again on January of 2032, we will reach back on June of 2032 back to Earth. So this time period of 2 years is what we are aiming to survive for longer time. So imagine almost 7 months we have to travel to a different planet, stay there for 2 years and then come back to there. So how are we going to survive there? How are we going to stay there for 2 years in Mars is the big question. So we have to have a lot of challenges, a lot of things have to be taken care of. So we have to work about our human behavior, our performance, everything has to go in a different direction. So on living in Mars, you have to take care of so many things. I'll touch upon most important things that you want to do in space. So Earth in comparison to Mars is very, very small. So Mars is almost 1/3 the size of Earth, and it has got very two tiny moons, Deimos and Phobos. Okay, and most of the time it is comparatively more toxic to live in Mars. So in Earth we have nitrogen, oxygen, and a little bit of other rare gases, but in when you go to Mars, it is 95% carbon dioxide. So there is a runaway effect. So it is completely filled with carbon dioxide. So many carbon dioxide is there. If you breathe in, you will die immediately. So that is not very favorable for you. And you can see our average temperature on the entire planet is somewhere around 14 degrees. So you have minus 70, 80 degrees in the North Pole and the South Pole. You have plus 40 degrees to plus 55 degrees in the equatorial region. That is how the average temperature of 14 degrees is. But if you go to Mars, there is minus 63 degrees. So anywhere if you stand on the surface of Mars, it will be very, very cold. So that's how it is. And almost close to 24 hours is the orbit time of the planet of Mars. So if you go on to live there, you have to make so many changes there. You have to make so much of improvement of their lifestyle when you go to stay in Mars. So the first thing you have to do is you have to tackle the cold temperature, and you have to worry about the low gravity, because it's a very minimal amount of gravity is there. And water, we have to produce water. So luckily we have a lot of ice on the surface of the Mars, and both on the North Pole and South Pole of Mars you have a lot of ice. So you can take that ice, sublimate it, that is make it little warmer and make it into water, ice into water, and then you can drink it. Air also, we have to introduce a lot of carbonaceous cycle, and we have to make that carbon dioxide into oxygen. Food, we have to cultivate food. We have to make some greenhouses and green culture, so that we can use some hydroponics and aquaponics to make a lot of food. We have to make all the dirt fertile. So we have to make it filled with lot of bacteria, earthworm and all. So in the due course of next 5 years, we will be making a small missions to improve the fertile culture of Mars. So clothing, we can't wear normal clothing like this. There is no cotton, there is no polyester there yet. So we have to carry most of them, or we have to use some metallic systems or metallic dress to keep ourselves protected in the surface of Mars. And building, we have to make 3D printing. So we have to use 3D printers to build the entire facility there in the Martian surface. So they are also investigating. So a lot of astronauts and a lot of scientists are right now working on making this as a possibility. So in the next 5 years we will be doing this. So all the materials that we have to carry, we have to produce a lot of electricity. So we have a lot of abundant amount of dams and water systems here, so that we can use it for making all this electricity. But in space, if you go there, you have to make it using other systems like geothermal systems and rotational systems. So vehicle dynamics, vehicle systems are also need to be discovered. So you have to use a lot of other systems to go from place to place. Somebody asked about robots. Yes, we are also doing a lot of experiments with robots, so that they can help us to open doors, close doors, go from place to place, use it as a puppy dog, everything they are doing right now. So a lot of things are being happening. So this is one of the dog robots that are there in Earth, which is developed by Boston Dynamics. So similar to this, there will be a planetary mission which they will carry a robot in the coming future. So what all things you can do apart from doing all this experiment, you can also do some cool things. You can go for hiking, you can go for snowboarding in the surface of the ice there. They can also do some rock climbing, mountain climbing there, because compared to Earth, there is a very tall mountain in the entire solar system in the Mars. So Mars has around a 22-kilometer tall mountain called Olympus Mons, which you can use for mountain climbing. And changing all these things in the coming future, we will be able to make it as a planet which is fit for going to a large space. So that is called terraforming, which you have to make the planet very warm. You have to introduce a lot of greenhouse effect, and then which makes the oxygen there more useful. This is all about the science of bringing in life. Okay. Someday we will also have robot gardeners there, and we will be able to make a lot of changes into their plantation systems there. So someday, like the cartoon movie called WALL-E, we will be becoming an interplanetary species, going in a starship to a different planet, living there for some time. Hopefully we don't get to be very lazy and grow very fat like them. We have to do a lot of workout, we have to do some lot of inventions, we have to discover new things so that we can go and live there in a different planet. So someday we will become very better, we don't have to worry about the sickness that comes in space, and someday we will become an interplanetary species, and that's hopefully how we can able to become a Martian system species. So this is all for today. I'll quickly show you something which I wanted to share. One second. So this is something called as the solar system, which you can look around. So somebody asked me how much time and how much aircraft time spent. So this is the Earth. If you go to Earth, you can see it is filled with lot of artificial satellites, and one of them is the International Space Station, ISS. One second. One second. I hope my screen is visible. Okay, this is the International Space Station, which is floating around the Earth, and if you see closely, it is moving very fast. Okay, so if I zoom out, you can see it is currently crossing over Europe. So this is Spain and Portugal. So it is crossing above the Spain and Portugal right now. It is at this speed. If I increase the speed a little bit, if I make it 10 seconds per second, you can see how fast it is. So it will be crossing India in some time. It is going to cross Africa. So every 1 second is 20 seconds equivalent in space. So this is how fast it is. So after 45 minutes, it will come back. After 90 minutes, it will come back to the same place. But by that time, it will cross to the dark side again. So yeah.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
Sir, is Venus very hotter and humid like Sun?
Yes, Venus is almost 5 times hotter than Sun. I will show you Venus. Okay.
Sir, what is the temperature of the space, sir?
If you are considering only one side of space, it is always hotter on the Sun side. Sun side, it will be around 200 to 300 degrees, but in the dark side, it will be very cold. So this is two side of Venus. Okay, this is dark side of Venus. Okay,
sir,
this side it will be very cold, this side it will be very hot. This is sun side and dark
sir.
side. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, what if the robot crashes in the rocket?
Which rocket and what is that robot?
Like a humanoid robot is crushed in a rocket, what will happen, sir?
Why do you want to do that? Why do you want to drop something like that? Why do you want to make it crashed?
We are in rockets. We are having more votes, right? In that votes, if the robots crash.
Kanama, first fundamentally, I want you to imagine something. Okay, today you are going to a place which you know for sure, which is having a purpose. Okay, today you are not going to school. Once the school opens, you are going to the classroom. Okay, that classroom you are going to sit in a place. If somebody comes and hits you on the classroom, what will you do?
I will just tell them to stop.
Yes, similarly, everything has a reason. Okay, you know when to ask to say stop. Okay, similarly, all the scientists across the world has find various ways to protect them from anything that is hitting them. any rocket that is traveling, they have to have protection to stop them from hitting them. So that is how they have done it. So there is no reason for any robot to go and hit a rocket. Yes, sir. So this is all the yes, sir. Tell me, sir.
Sir, there is any planet like our Earth?
There is any planet like Earth. So there is something called as an exoplanet. So there are few candidates. There are few. Okay, I'll show you something.
Sir, how much distance it will to our Earth?
One second. I'll answer first your question about we have any Earth-like planet. Okay, Earth-like planet you want to know, right? Okay. So this is the entire list of all the star systems with all the planets that are found. Okay, in the middle is our sun, and each dot that you can see, each thing is actually another star like it. So if you click on the planet type, in sun, very nearby to sun, this is all the sun type planets. So if I click on this, if I zoom on this, there is something called KC104A and KC104B. So this is the red dwarf planet, red M type planet.
Sir?
Yes, sir. So this is the planet which has. So every system in our entire galaxy and every star system here has been discovered. So this is our entire Milky Way galaxy. This Milky Way galaxy,
Sir?
they have observed so many exoplanets. Yes, sir. Yes,
Sir?
yes, sir.
Sir, what happened to the Pluto, sir?
What happens for Pluto? So can you finish the question?
Sir?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, does Neptune have day and night?
One at a time. Okay. I have to go with the queue then. You suddenly jump into Neptune from Pluto. Who asked about Pluto?
Sir?
Yes, sir. What was your question about Pluto?
Sir, why the Pluto is not, sir?
Why is
In our
Pluto
solar
not?
system?
Pluto has been demoted from a planet to a dwarf planet. So there has to be certain conditions to be called as a planet.
Sir?
Pluto did not have a correct kind of orbit and correct kind of mass
Sir?
to become a planet. It became a dwarf planet. Yes, sir.
Sir?
Yes, Siddharth.
Sir, what if the Earth turns reverse of the round? What will happen?
What is Earth reverse around where? Can you finish the question completely?
What will happen if the Earth turns reverse?
What will happen if the Earth turns reverse? Okay, it's a hypothetical question. Okay, if the Earth turns reverse, you will have different waves. So entire Earth, this is the Earth. So in the Earth, you are saying instead of going from east to west, what if it turns west to east? That is what you are asking, right?
Yes.
Okay, if it turns like that, your planet will have a different tidal waves. Your water will be hitting the coastline in a different direction, and you will have a different sunrise and sunset. Okay, there is one planet in the solar system which is actually doing this. Do you know which planet is actually going on the side in the reverse?
We don't know, sir.
Any guess? Take a guess.
Venus.
Yes, Venus is actually spinning on the opposite side.
Sir, what happened if Earth stands in one place?
All these things are hypothetical questions, Kanama. So if you are saying if it is staying at one place, then your Earth will be not in the solar system. It will be somewhere away. It will be far away. That's called rogue planets. Okay, I'll show you what is a rogue planet.
Sir, like Pluto.
Sir.
One second. So this is a rogue planet. Okay, this is an artistic impression of a rogue planet which is free floating. It is going around without having any star or any sun near it. Okay, this is how it will be.
Sir, any other planet has water like Earth, sir?
There is a lot of moons of Jupiter and Saturn which has water. So there is something called Europa. Okay, sorry, not here. Europe.
Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How did we know about the Andromeda galaxy and other planets with using satellites, sir?
Yes,
If
sir.
they send satellites.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We use
Sir?
telescopes to observe, and then we tell it. So Europa has a lot of ice, very similar to have water here. So it is one of the moons of Jupiter.
Sir?
Sir,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
sir, is stars bigger than the planets?
Stars bigger than planets. Yes, obviously stars are bigger than planets. Why? When you compare Earth with Sun, yes, it is very very bigger. Okay, but if you compare other dwarf stars, like there are a lot of dwarf stars. There is white dwarf, red dwarf, lot of blue dwarfs are there. So those stars are smaller than the planets.
Sir, every stars are hot as sun, sir.
Sir,
No. There are okay.
sir,
Yes, sir. One second, sir. One question at a time. So there are a lot of types of stars. I'll open it. So this is all the types of stars there. So from nebulae to neutron stars, there are lot of variations of star. Each one is different in temperature. Okay. So if you can see, our sun is around 6,000 to 500 degrees Celsius. There is a star which is called Spica. It's a blue giant, which is around 28,000 temperatures.
Sir? Sir?
Yes, sir. One second, sir.
Sir?
Who's saying sir? Gayatri, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir?
Ask Anuma, ask question. Priya, Karthik, ask
Sir?
question.
Why is the Pluto not a planet, sir?
Okay, I'll show you something. So one of the conditions to becoming a planet or a dwarf planet is considered. So for a planet, it has to orbit the sun. It has to be nearly spherical. It has to have a cleared their neighborhood. Okay, because Pluto doesn't have a clear neighborhood. It is okay. I'll show you Pluto system. Okay, then only you can able to see.
Sir?
One second, Anna. One second. So this is Pluto, right? You think it is floating around with only one thing? No, it has got a very small other planet called Charon. Charon is another dwarf planet which has its own axis. So both Pluto and Charon is rotating around a different axis. So you can see it doesn't have a center. So this center is actually, this is the Pluto system. So all these small moons of Pluto, each one of them is going around in a different axis. That's why it is not considered as a planet. It is considered as a dwarf planet. So all of them are in same size. Hydra, Styx, Charon, Pluto, Nix, Kerberos, everything is on same size. So all of them are going around. So it becomes its own Pluto system. It's like a small solar system. Pluto system is a small solar system. So it is not considered as a planet.
Sir, doesn't Uranus also spin reverse like Venus?
Yes, both of them, but Uranus is slightly tilted to its axis. So Uranus is having a different tilt axis.
Sir, did they send satellite to the Andromeda galaxy?
This is Uranus's tilt. So Uranus is tilted to its side. So all the axis of its rotation is slightly to the curve. So you can see this is the entire disk of our planet. So you can see how tilted it is. So this is how it's actually spinning. So it is tilting on its 90-degree axis.
Sir, is there any other planet where can humans live?
Where other planet?
Is there any other planet where can humans live, sir?
Humans live. Okay. There are a lot of candidates. I'll show you the Saturn system. So probably if you see Saturn system, there are a lot of moons that you can go and stay. So this is the moon of Saturn, there is something called Enceladus. Enceladus is an icy giant, and on the bottom of the Enceladus there is a gas that is coming out. If you can see this gas coming out of the Enceladus moon, it is pure water vapor. This is 90% water vapor. So if you want to go and stay there, you can stay there and you can drink lot of water. Bottom of Enceladus is a good candidate for going and staying.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Why the climate changes day to day and hour to hour?
Climate, you want to know about climate. Okay. Climate is dependent on two things. One is the rotation of the planet and the amount of moisture that is there on the surface of the planet. Okay. If you consider Earth, okay, I'll go to Earth. If you go to Earth, there is lot of moisture in the atmosphere which is forming as the clouds. So you can see the entire planet is covered with lot of clouds, right? Ignore all that satellites. So this is all cloud. This is white color is all clouds. So where is India? Okay, this is India. Okay, I'll increase the time so that you can see. Okay, this is India, and you can see on the top of the Indian Ocean there is a lot of clouds. So similarly, if you see the entire planet, it is covered by water and lot of clouds. So when they move around, they make a climatic system. So that's how you can able to move around the entire planet with lot of climatic systems.
Sir, why we can't see the space in only night time, sir?
Because you have sun, na Kadama, you have the sun. You know how bright the sun is. You can't see telescope with the sun on the front. Okay. So that's why once you go to the night time only, you can see the dark side of the sky. So that's why you can see other stars which are brighter than the dark sky.
Sir, why we can't see the rotation of Earth?
Why we can't see rotation of the Earth? In relate to what? In relation to what? Why you can't see the rotation of Earth in relation to what? I am asking question. We can't see rotation of Earth in relative to what? What are you asking this question? Okay, I think you are trying to ask what is why you can't see the rotation of Earth, because we are already standing on top of the Earth. Okay, if you consider looking at the other planetary systems, if you look at Mars, it is rotating. If you look at Jupiter, it is rotating. Every 1 week once you can see a different phase of the Jupiter. So similar to that, everything is relative. Okay, this is how it is. If you increase the time, you can see it is rotating. So every week, once in every week, you can see a different side of the Jupiter surface. So that is rotating. So similarly, we can also, if you go to Jupiter and see the Earth, we can see Earth rotating. That's all.
Sir, how did we know about the Andromeda galaxy, sir?
Through observation, Kanna. So we used telescopes and we observed the planet and observed through the telescope, and that's how we saw the Andromeda galaxy.
They didn't use satellite, sir?
There is no powerful satellite yet to be sent to Andromeda galaxy, Kanna. So it will take another maybe few million years or few light years to send there. So light is the fastest thing in the entire universe. So you have to reach there by only sending a very fast light speed spacecraft. So it will take a light speed satellite. It will take a very long time. Maybe some to few million years from now, we will be in the Andromeda galaxy. Yes.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
How many minutes and hours will take to sunlight to reach our Earth?
It will take around 8 minutes 20 seconds. So from sun, if you send a small light beam, it will reach Earth in 8 minutes 20 seconds. So this is one astronomical unit. So from this is sun, this is Earth. From here, if one light beam starts traveling, it will reach around 8 minutes and 20 seconds to Earth.
Sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Sir,
Yes, sir.
What will happen when all the planets are straight in a line?
Hypothetically, you are asking, or actually, you are asking?
Hypothetically, sir.
Hypothetically, it will take some every 1 million year once this phenomenon happens. Nothing much. It will be very in straight line. That's all. There is not something like a celestial event and all. It only is a small eclipse event. Eclipsing. It's a planetary eclipse. So all the 8 planets will be in a straight line, which will happen once in a million years. So for that to happen, it will have to be in a very particular alignment. See, Earth is here. Neptune is here. So for it to come into straight line, all the other 7 planets also has to be in the straight line, right? So it will take a very long time.
Sir, when did it last happen?
I don't know, Kana. I have to check. Okay. Well, I will check that. Okay, 1 second.
Next question is eclipse is dangerous for Earth.
Last time all 8 planets were visibly close together forming a planetary parade was on February 28, 2025. Okay, that is very new to me.
Sir, is eclipse was harmful for our Earth?
Solar eclipse, if you are looking directly at the sun without any protection, your eyes will get spoiled. You should not look without proper protection. But if you are considering other planetary eclipses, then you don't have to worry. There is also something called planetary eclipse. So Mercury comes in between the sun and the earth, Venus comes between the sun and the earth. So that and all, you don't have to worry. There is not many problem. You know the very fun part? Okay, I'll show you. Solar eclipse, size of moon. So this is a very fun mathematical question. So Earth and the moon is around 480 kilometers wide in the shadow that is formed, and exactly at that same time it is around 400 times away from the sun and the moon. So there is an exact round sphere that is formed because of the mathematical combination of sphere of the sun to the sphere of the moon to the viewing point of the earth. So very cool amount of mathematics is involved to create such kind of effect, and you can only find such kind of effect in very particular places in earth. Okay, so every 7 to 8 years once there is a total solar eclipse. So during the total solar eclipse, you will have such kind of phenomena. That is, the entire sun will be covered by the darkness of the moon, and with which we can able to see very small features on the surface of the moon, which is called as the Baily's beads, which are large mountains on the surface of the moon, which are visible at a very small space.
Sir, nobody will live for 1 billion years, no, sir. Then who found that it will happen only 1 billion years once, sir? That all planets aligning?
Okay, I'll ask you another question instead of telling that. How do you know that your school is starting on? I think your school is starting on June, right? June or July? When is your school starting again?
June 2.
Okay, June 2nd. Okay, how many days is it from today? Today is 12th of April. Okay, so you have 2 months, almost around 2 months. How do you know that it is 2 months?
By calculating.
By calculating, but before that, what is that fundamental calculation that you have?
They are sending that in June 2.
Okay, Kanama, fundamentally, what is the reason for you to have this gap of 60 days? What is the earth doing in that 60 days time?
Revolving around the sun.
Yes, so it will turn 60 times. It will rotate itself 60 times, and it will move from one place to another in the 60 days time. Similarly, they are also observing other planets and other star systems in the Andromeda galaxy, which are moving at the same rate. So, somebody noticed the Andromeda galaxy in the 400 years ago. So, from 400 years from then to today, they were observing and they were seeing that it is spinning slowly. So, it is changing little by little. So, that is how they were able to understand that there is a small change in that Andromeda galaxy. So, it is this far away from us.
Sir, when sometimes we see the moon, sir, it changes its color into red color, sir. How, sir?
That is because of accretion. So, there is a small amount of light accretion that is happening in our earth. Okay, I will ask you one more question. Have you seen the sun during sunrise and sunset?
Yes, sir, sometimes.
Yes, so it will look very orange or very little bit of reddish orange color. You know why?
Don't know, sir.
Okay, I will ask you another question. What is the color of our sky?
Blue.
Why is it in the color of blue?
So, due to scattering of light.
With what? Scattering of light with what?
Oxygen has
ozone layer, sir.
No, you are almost right, but not oxygen, not ozone. There is something else.
So, water?
No, not water.
nitrogen.
Correct. Nitrogen is the important person which is needed for it. So, you know how the sky of Mars is like?
Sir, are aliens are true?
So, this is how the sky of Mars will look like. It will look very orange colored thing because lot of this surface is filled with carbon dioxide. I told you, na, the surface of the Mars is filled with carbon dioxide, almost 95% carbon dioxide. So, it will have this orange colored tint. But in Earth, we have filled with nitrogen. That is why it is in almost blue color. So, coming back to your question, why does the moon look very reddish when you have it in a different time during the eclipses or during a different time? Because the light that is traveling from the surface of the moon will pass through a very thick atmosphere during that time. So, atmosphere.
Do lunar eclipse cause any damage harmful for our eyes, sir?
Yes, definitely. It will have little bit of effect, not very major effect. Okay. So, Kanama, this is the Earth's atmosphere. Okay. So, there is lot of layers. There is troposphere, ozone layer, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. So, if you have the sun directly above us, that is on the 12 o'clock time. So, it is if you go to the afternoon, the sun is directly above us. So, it will be very straight line. So, the color of the sun is pure white, or it is in, if you watch with a very eye protection, it will be in white color. But if you go to the side, it has to travel little longer through the atmosphere. So, this is thicker, this is more thicker. If you are standing on the surface here, this will be more thick. So, by the time it would have shifted from white to red. So, that is why during moonrise and during sunrise, the moon and the sun looks little orange or reddish.
Sir, are aliens are true?
Are aliens?
Aliens are true?
I don't know, Kanna. If I don't know if aliens are true. I don't know the answer
Sir.
to that question.
Sir?
Sir?
Yes, sir.
What happens when eclipse times? The space station will get any hurt, sir?
What happens during eclipse time? International Space Station will get any hurt? Not actually. They don't have to worry about eclipse and all. But during one important radiation, that is cosmic level radiation coming from the sun, they usually protect themselves by going into a safe place. Okay.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
So if there's carbon dioxide present on Mars, why do people say that it's okay to live on Mars?
Can you repeat again?
If carbon dioxide is present on Mars, why do people say like it's okay to go to Mars and it's a candidate for Earth's representation?
See, they want to go and live there by first building a colony. First, they have to build a Martian base. So, what they want to do is, I'll show you. For representational purposes. I have to show you. It's not easy to understand without Mars base station. So this is what they are trying to build. So in the Martian surface, this is a Mars station. So which is basically a colony where you can go and live, and with which they can able to stay there a little longer without worrying about carbon dioxide problem. So inside this Mars station, there is artificial air and artificial atmosphere which they can breathe and live normally. So this is where they are going to live. Maybe after 100
Sir, can
years,
we go to Venus?
No, Kana, it's not possible to go to Venus, but there is a hypothetical situation to send hot air balloons to Venus. Hot air balloons to Venus. So there is a planned mission sometime in 2030s to send hot air balloons which will float like this on the surface of Venus. It's a very planned mission. We call it as Shukran mission. ISRO has called it as Shukran mission, which is going to happen sometime in 2030s or 2040s. You have to have a lot of money to do it.
Sir, in sun, daily thousands of lavas will be getting volcanoes, right?
Yes, sun surface CM. So that is called coronal mass ejection. Okay, it's a very heavy amount of thing. Okay, I'll show you.
Sir?
So this is how the sun looks like at a cosmic level radiation. So you can see a lot of volcano kind of things. It's called CME, coronal mass ejection, which is getting spewed from the surface. Because of
Sir, so no chance to sun have oxygen, right?
Sun is not only made of oxygen. Sun is made of helium and hydrogen. So it is a very heavy element. From its compression, you get lot of other elements from the sun. So this is the volcano.
Sir, what sir can space station
one at a time.
Sir, can space station be remote controlled?
It is actually being remote controlled. Nobody is actually driving the space station and all. It is all controlled using a lot of modules.
Sir, and some people are saying the space station is 30 years old and it's going to break. Is that true, sir?
It's not going to break. It is going to be decommissioned. There is something different between breaking and decommissioning. Decommissioning of ISS. Okay. It is going to happen sometime in 2030s. So after that, it will be sent out. Okay. Somebody asked about what is the window available in International Space Station. This is called the cupola. So this entire space station will be brought down in the 2030s. They will use powerful rockets. They will attach it to the International Space Station and they will send it to the Pacific Ocean. They will send it there. Okay.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir. This is the window.
Sir, why the moon?
Why is the moon? Okay, fine. So this is the window that they are using in the International Space Station to look outside. This is called the cupola. So with which you can observe the Earth, and lot of the photography of the planet Earth is taken from there. Okay.
Sir, why we cannot see stars in the morning, sir?
Because sun is very bright and it is taking all the space light, and it is getting hit on your atmosphere. So light scattering is there, so you can't see.
Okay. Sir?
Okay, I'll show you something. Okay, if I
sir, stars is bigger than sun.
One second. Okay, I am using my torch and I am putting it on my camera. Okay, can you see my face?
Yes, sir.
No.
Oh, that is similar. So this is sun, this is me, I am the star, you can't see me. If I go to dark, you can see me, right? So this is
Sir,
how
I
the
can't
planet is.
see anything.
Yes, sir. Sir, the sun is.
No, sir.
So Bhargava doesn't like this experiment. Okay, fine. What else you want to know? Thumbs down, everybody.
Sir. Sir, the sun is hiding the stars, no, sir?
Sun is not hiding, Nakana. Sun is very bright so that the stars behind it cannot be seen. Okay. Sun is also a star, you know that, right? Sun is also a star. Sun is a very bright star in the entire sky. So because if it is present in front of your face, you can't see other stars that are behind it. So that's why it is very dark, very difficult to see stars that are behind sun. But if you wait for 6 months, after 6 months you will go to the other side of the sun, and then you can see the sun stars that are behind the sun. That was 6 months before. You understand what I am trying to say?
Yes, sir, I understand.
Yes, sir.
Sir, which star is far from our Earth, sir?
Which star is far from Earth? I don't know the answer to that. Okay.
Sir.
Farthest star. I'm not like Google now. I don't know every answer to every question. I have to Google it. Farthest star from Earth. There is a star called Arundel WH10137, which was discovered in 2022. It is 28 billion light years away. That is the farthest star from our Earth.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
Is there a star bigger than the sun? Because I've heard that there's a star that is bigger than the sun.
Lot of stars bigger than sun. I will show you some of the stars. One second. Very good question. I like the question.
Sir, is star was smaller or bigger?
Our star is a very average size star. Our sun is a very average size star. Biggest star in the universe.
Is sun is more bigger than our? Is sun is more bigger than any planets?
Yeah. Lot of stars are bigger than our planets. Okay, this is comparatively ones that are there in the Milky Way. So you can see the very small tiny dot at the end of this, that is the sun, SOL. Okay, there is something called EY-Scuti. EY-Scuti is about 1000 times bigger than our sun. So it's very large. Okay, I think I can show you in 3D also. One second.
Sir, every star has it as sun, sir.
Most of them have. Most of them there is a lot of suns.
Sir, will sun explode in a few billion years, sir?
It is expected to blow in another 5 billion years. Okay, not immediately, but sometime.
Sir, as all other planets have, does all other planets have planets like the sun have?
Every star system has one planet. So this is all the system that was observed in only in the Milky Way galaxy. If you can see my screen, okay. Because of our telescope, we can only able to observe this point of the sky. So some days,
Sir, how many galaxies are there?
Basically, by compression of so many dark matter and a lot of cosmic dust. That is how galaxies are made.
Sir, what is inside the black hole?
Okay, I don't think you will ever let me free without black hole. Okay, I'll show you. Black hole composition.
Is black hole is bigger than our galaxy?
One question. Okay. So there are various parts to a black hole. Okay. So there is something called as an accretion disk. There is a stable orbit space. There is photosphere. There is event horizon. Then there is singularity. Okay. So these are the various parts of a black hole. If you go very close to the event horizon, if you jump into it, you become something like a spaghetti. Okay, spaghetti.
Sir?
Spaghettification.
Sir?
One second, sir. One second. So, if you have someone like this, if you send them to a black hole, they will stretch into something like a noodles. So that is called spaghettification. It's a stretching out.
Sir, can we return when we go inside a black hole?
There is nobody to prove it. Maybe if you become very famous scientist, you try it out yourself. Okay. Until then, I have to only rely on data.
Sir, is somebody gone to black hole and they came back?
No, Kanna. Nobody has gone to the black hole yet. Nobody has gone to moon after more than 50 years. In 50 years ago, we went to moon. After that, we have not even gone to moon again.
Sir, then how they discover black hole, sir?
Through observation only, through telescopes, through observation, through radio telescopes. So many observational methods, they found black holes.
Sir, who found the black hole, sir?
Good question. I don't know the answer to that question. One second.
Sir, how many galaxies are there?
There is no count for it. Black hole discovered by.
Sir,
it was discovered by Paul Borden and Louis Webster in 1971. Yes, sir. What was the question? What was the question? Somebody stopped asking questions. Okay. Nida, I think we are almost to the mark of 2 hours. So, if you can tell me.
Yeah, I understand, sir. If I think, children, most of your questions were answered. So we'll share the information to me, and I will share it on the respective group. The video links and the transcript of this video workshop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you so much, children.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you.
This session is informative, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Full for it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.